Hey y'all, it's Melissa here at Twin Oaks Family Farm in rural Southeast Ohio, USA, and it's time for another show and tell and share on our little farm. This is just our little home place, and we run a part-time poultry farming operation off of it. We have to diversify a little bit to have multiple income streams coming into that poultry farm operation to keep it going and to keep it successful, but we enjoy it, so we continue to do it. We continue to try to improve it. Our Saturday show and tell and share on the farm videos are just an opportunity to show you some of the things that are happening around our home place, tell you about what's been going on in our week and some of the YouTube channels that we're enjoying, and share a product from our daily routines that might be beneficial to you as well, and tell you where you can access it. We don't get any tangible or monetary benefit from our YouTube channel at all, at least not at this point, maybe never will, and that's okay, because we mainly do this as an expression of our poultry farm. We have observed when people work with us and come here to pick up eggs, to pick up poultry from us that's been produced here, one of the joys that we see in them is they love to see where their food comes from. They love to see the livestock that is the backbone of that food production system. They love that it's sourced locally, and they love that they can see how we treat our animals while they're in a production system. So of course, with our egg laying hens, you know, they lay eggs. We keep the hens somewhat long term. We have a couple of small flocks, 32 in each group, and 12 younger ones that will be assimilated into one of those groups. And then with our meat chickens, that's a whole different ball game. Our meat chickens are specifically bred with like selective breeding, in the same sense that we can have pet dogs that have been bred to have the feature of, for example, not shedding their fur, and therefore they require special accommodations to keep them, like having their hair cut periodically so it doesn't become overgrown and matted. That's all a result of that specialized breeding. Same with our meat chickens. They're unique from the egg production chickens because the meat chickens have been specifically bred to convert feed to meat quickly. Therefore, they require a short production time and really specialized, you could almost say intensive management practices to keep them thriving and to intervene on the behalf of individual birds when we see that a bird is maybe experiencing a failure to thrive in that production system. But people love to see that producers can produce on a small scale, distribute that food in a local food chain, more or less, and that producers care about quality of life for their livestock. And so when we observed that when we'd have animals here in production and people could see them and we could answer their questions about that, I thought, you know, we have all these media platforms nowadays. YouTube is a perfect place to take that same concept and extend it to a media platform. So we're not limited to only showing our local customers and clients how we manage our animals in production. We're unlimited in the sense that we can take that to a media platform and share it with whoever wants to watch it. So we mainly focus our videos on especially raising the meat birds. We actually had a flock move out this past week, and we have a flock moving in, I believe Monday, coming right up. So actually the bulk of our weekend, this is April 20th, 2024, if I haven't got that said yet, Saturday, April 20th, 2024, the bulk of our weekend will be getting back into that meat bird production barn. It's a 30-foot by 30-foot wood structure that's a couple years old that was designed specifically for meat chicken production. We're going to be back in that meat bird barn, cleaning up from the flock that left and setting up for the flock that will be incoming. So in this show and tell and share video today, though, we don't have meat birds in production right now at the place. We do have our egg birds in production. They're not going to be on this video today. Going to try to do some videos for upload on them this coming week. But this show and tell and share, we are looking at a raised bed example that has been at our place for a long time. Honestly, I can't even remember when we installed it or kind of built it, but I want to show you the materials that it's made out of and how it was put together and how we've used it. And so while we're looking at that, I'm going to show you a couple of the herbs that I'm growing in it and tell you what I know about them. And your feedback is welcome. You probably know more than I do if you've gardened or have experience with working with different kinds of herbs. So I'll tell you what I know about them and why I have them here and why I love them. And then we'll tell you about a couple of the channels that I'm wanting to catch up on and why I got behind this week on staying caught up on them. And then got a product I want to show you before we wrap the video up at the end. So welcome back to Twin Oaks Family Farm. Thank you for joining us at Twin Oaks Farm Poultry on YouTube. And let's take a look at this little flower bed. So this is right at my home place. And in fact, this is just like 10 steps from the door that we mainly utilize to get in and out of our house. So this is a patch of oregano. And it's kind of it's kind of spreading. Like, it really all started from one plant maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. So we more or less have it contained in what's basically a raised bed. And this is really kind of what I wanted to show you in the show and tell and share today is this raised bed and tell you what it's made out of. And some of you are already guessing what it's made out of, especially if you watched our show and tell and share video from Saturday a week ago. But I do love the oregano. I utilize it a lot. I'm going to actually study like you know, maybe some new uses with it other than just using it fresh, because as you can see, we have quite a lot of it. And like I said, it is spreading. I may have to dig some of it out. I don't know if it's considered invasive, but I can tell you, like, I'm very careful about when I weed out of it. I don't just throw that on to the ground, because I've heard that it can be somewhat crowding or invasive of other things. So if I've, you know, weeded some out, I take it up to the fire pit and put it in there. But fresh oregano, I love it. So I want to contain that a little bit. And we actually did plant some dormant asparagus here on either side of it. And I had read that asparagus and oregano could make good companions. So I hope I read that correctly. We'll see. But we also have a couple bloomers here. This is pinks, or dianthus is what I call them. And there is another one there. It doesn't seem to be doing quite as well. There's Tanner, the Dotson. He is such a little joy. He's not quite a year old yet. Not quite a year old yet. There's a deer antler there. And here is a turtle shell, an old turtle shell. I'm trying to back my shadow out of there. But anyway, so and tractors from days gone by. Our sons are now 16 to 20 years old, but they loved playing with tractors. So that oregano I love. I would say that the way we see it growing there must be conditions that it likes, because it gets very minimal attention and it thrives right there. So this siting gets a lot of late morning and afternoon sun. It gets full sun. Of course, the bed that it's in would drain exceedingly well. And we did put like a potting soil growing medium in it. I forget what it's, Pro Mix, I think is the one that we get, is what it's called. And we get it in big, bulky, like bales almost, you know, that are bagged up, but like a bale, and heavy, and has some moisture to it, and it's just a Pro Mix potting soil. So we actually amended the soil in these beds with the Pro Mix when we built them, and it really improved the soil. But here's that cilantro. So I think I've shown this cilantro previously on some videos, and mentioned that we had planted that in the back right there first, and then waited a couple weeks and scattered some more there. And then I waited a little bit longer and actually scattered another row in front. So we're going to see what happens. Cilantro, as far as I know, also wants full sun and well-drained soil. It also prefers kind of coolish temperatures. So like for us, we get a lot of high heat in the summer over kind of a short period of time, but like springtime like this and fall, you know, we get some cool temperatures. So we're most likely going to have cilantro able to thrive in spring and in fall, I guess, here in rural Southeast Ohio where I am. I actually used some of this cilantro this morning. If you can believe it, I had a taco salad for breakfast because, in my opinion, tacos work any time of day, any day of the week. So I had a taco salad for breakfast, and I came out here, and the biggest ones in the back, I pulled off leaves, like by most of the stem, about 2/3 of the stem, one stem at a time, and took in about 10 stems. So harvested it for eating right away. So I love the flavor of cilantro, and I think it's a love it or a hate it. There's no middle. You either love it or leave it. But I love it. So I've basically kind of picked up that you can start taking leaves off the cilantro when the plant reaches approximately 6 inches. It's ready for harvest, and then you can kind of harvest them, snip them off a stem at a time, one by one, most of the way down, and then as long as you leave some leaves on that plant, it'll continue to like regrow some of those leaves back. Now you could also take them and harvest them, you know, maybe like at this size, and it'd be kind of considered a microgreen, and they're still going to have great flavor. In fact, they might have a little more intensity to their flavor. So I've noticed, you know, these were planted the same time as this row, and those are shorter, but I didn't thin them, and they're more crowded and more dense in there. So that may be creating more competition, and they're not growing as tall. But then these, I thinned this row to see if that would make a difference, and it does seem to have made a difference. So I'm going to actually today thin some more of those out, harvest them, and we'll use them in some lunch and supper plans for the day. So I really like cilantro, though. It's so good. And you know, cilantro is basically also known as coriander in the sense that when cilantro goes to seed, the seed is called coriander, right? So so kind of the same, coming from the same plant anyway, right? But again, conditions for this, you know, it likes sun, but it also likes to be well drained, and it likes a little bit coolish temperatures. And so what I'm expecting is when we start to get a lot of heat in our daytimes, a lot of high temperatures, this is going to bolt. In other words, it's going to get some vertical growth really quickly and start to go to seed. And so I think it can get up to about 2 foot tall when it goes to seed. And one neat thing about it going to seed, even though that's going to basically turn the leaves bitter and it's not really going to be as appealing and palatable for eating as a fresh herb or for using at that point, I'm going to let some of it go to seed, because I'm thinking logically it should reseed. It should drop some of those seeds right here in this planting spot, and it should reseed itself. And then I'll have more cilantro again from these plants come fall maybe. So here's some more of those pinks. I call them pinks. Dianthus maybe is what we know them as. I'm trying to remove my shadow from the screen. So pinks, I just like those. They green up nice. They get a little bit of size. Is that Artemisia? Silver mound Artemisia. I think it's the only one we have here. Here's one of the lupins. I told you on another video, I think, we planted 4 dormant lupins here. I call them lupins. It's spelled L-U-P-I-N-E. So if you love Texas bluebonnets, that's the plant that makes Texas bluebonnets, lupins. So anyway, we got it coming on. More pinks. And then as you can see, this end of the bed is kind of weeded. Kind of, as not weeded as in I've gone through and taken the weeds out, weeded as in there's still weeds in it. And we haven't amended this soil down here. So you can actually tell how the soil kind of goes from something that looks like a better planting medium to something that just kind of looks like it needs a little bit of help. So this is actually a perennial with the big leaves here coming back. It's a type of black-eyed Susan. And these grasses, I don't think they're perennials, but they I don't know, do you say reseed with grasses? I guess you do, but this one here and that one, and there's a couple back there. So I'm also, and there's, I think this start is like this plant, okay? And I think that's one there also. So we've had some reseeding from some of our perennials in here. So I do think this weekend I'm gonna take soil like this Pro Mix and amend into here. Okay, so, but the main feature of this bed, and the reason that we're looking at this side of the place, is that this is an example of this raised bed that we've used. So if you have been contemplating or wondering, trying to figure out what the material is, and some of you already know what the material is, this material is actually just bags of what we call Quikrete or Sackcrete. And so those could come in where we can get them, like at big home improvement stores. Those can come in bags that are 40 pounds or bags that are 80 pounds. And it's just, you know, mix that you add water to that's going to set up and be concrete. So if you were using them, like sometimes my husband and sons will go complete some concrete jobs for a utility company, a gas company, like where they've had to dig up some sidewalk and check out components, and then they need that sidewalk filled back in. So, you know, they'll go and tend to that on behalf of the utility company, and they'll take bags of Sackcrete and they'll put it either in like a concrete mixer unit that we have, or just in a wheelbarrow and mix it up. So they take what's in the bags. This was originally a paper wrapped bag of concrete mix, okay? So like they would use those paper wrapped bags of concrete mix on the job site for those small jobs by just mixing water with the contents of the bag, and it would make a concrete mix, and they would, you know, pour it in where they need it, and they might use some other products in there too to help with, you know, like setup or hardening, curing, but in general, you know, that would make the concrete, and they'd pour it in where they need it. So in this case, we wanted to build a retaining wall for a flower bed that could be a kitchen garden, because like I said, it's, you know, a dozen steps or less from the door that I use most of the time to get in and out of my home, and easy access to my kitchen. So it could be a kitchen garden, but we've never really utilized it like that. We've planted a few herbs in it, some pretty bloomers, and my my hyacinth are there, and I love hyacinth in the spring. So we wanted just some material that we could make a raised bed out of, and we didn't want to have to go buy a bunch of block. So we did still have to go buy a bunch of bags of Quikrete, but that's all this is. So down here on this end, I think it's actually 4 layers high. And then as we work up this way, I think we ended up at like 3 layers high because of the slope of the ground, right? And then this end. And so over here, there's more slope of the ground, so it got shorter. There's just 2 there, and that edge, I think, is just 1 high. Okay? So I will show you the edge here, though. Well, we're going to get some shadow. So we did have some break off of the second layer down, the edge of that, but quite literally we would just set the bags there, like, you know, we did the first row. We set the bags there, we soaked them down with water, we left the wrapper on it so it contained the mix in that shape, and then we just let it set up. And so, you know, we did 1 layer, soaked it. I don't think we even waited for it to set up. We went ahead and put the next layer on, soaked it. We just felt we needed to make sure we soaked the bags really super good, soaked all the contents of the bags really super good. So you could do a layer at a time and let it sit if you wanted to attempt a retaining wall this way. But this is literally just Quikrete, and it has been here for years. I can't remember exactly how many years. I feel like I'm sure it's a decade. So anyway, that's one way you could make a retaining wall. And it went well with the material of our home. So in another time, I'll tell you about the top of the home and the basement of the home and adding the garage on. It's all kind of an interesting story. So, but anyway, but I do like the little garden bed back here. I like the material it's made of. I'm sure over time, you know, we're going to see some places where there's some breakdown in the material. You know, y'all can see up here, we got a few cracks on the top. We have another one there where like an edge of that broke off, but the rest of it is secure. So at any rate, there's an idea for you. Ask me questions about it. If you have any, I'll answer what I can. Or, you know, share us your thoughts on that idea as a raised bed. So anyway, that's all that we're going to do there on show and tell and sharing the flower beds. And I'm going to turn the camera around and take a little bit of a seat here and show you a product that I really like. And got to tell you, I really haven't got to watch any YouTube this week at all, and we only actually recorded a few YouTube videos during the last week, and we had material from last weekend that we spread out over this past week. I actually had the opportunity to start a new part-time job, add that into my routine. So it's a block of evenings most of the week, and it's a new schedule for me. It was a big adjustment to get the afternoon to to work and have my household work and farm work and social media work done in order to be ready to be on time for the job opportunity, but made it work. But I knew it was going to be a busy week, so we had some of that video material ready to go so we could spread it out over the week. So I'm really excited that I got a new job routine going, and it's basically in like an administration office in a school organization that is a technical training center with a high school program and an adult program, and I get to work with the adult program side of it. And it's really just a face behind the desk job as far as a front office person, you know, to greet people and to help people with questions. But I'm really enjoying it, and so it's going to be a neat experience, neat part of our routine, and the people there are fantastic. So anyway, probably as we go on, you know, maybe more will come up about that in some of the videos. But it does, you know, make you have to adjust your routine when you start something brand new. We also had some time demands. I had some time demands from our social media, from our YouTube channel this week. We dealt with a lot of criticism of our meat birds this week. And, you know, there's a fine line, and I'll say to y'all, you deal with difficult things in your life. There's a fine line where you get to decide how much energy you invest in negativity that comes at you from out in the world. You get to decide. Just because somebody else wants to send negativity your way does not mean that you ever have to participate in it. You don't. And so I take that to heart myself. And so when negativity comes in, I basically can say to myself, I get to decide how much energy I want to return to this. And I get to decide if the energy I return to this is going to be negative, or if I'm going to pivot it to a positive energy and try to share that. So, you know, sometimes we have things going on in our lives to the extent that we can't deal with incoming negative, and we just have to say, no, I'm not going to participate in that. And so, you know, there would be cases like with the social media, I may just simply delete a comment if it's just blatantly inaccurate, negative, rude, or hateful. I may just take it away. If I have some energy and the circumstances allow me to return energy to that. I certainly don't want to increase the negativity and the drama in it. I want to turn it to a pivot where we get something productive and constructive out of it. So I had to do a lot of that this week with our very own YouTube channel. I'm going to turn the camera around because that's just such a peaceful sight. Hanging out with my dogs, and going to go check my chickens and watching the birds. And I've got a fountain over here on my right that I love the sound of the running water. And we actually have a natural drainage waterway off to my left where I hear that running water too. But that's what's been going on this week. So I had to put so much time into handling some of this criticism that's come in about our production agriculture operation, about our meat birds, simply because of people not really necessarily understanding meat birds and production agriculture, and maybe simply because of people just having different opinions than we do, right? So nonetheless, some of the things that came in, I felt, that I have to stand up for myself. I have to stand up for my family. I have to stand up for production agriculture. I have to stand up for our little farm, and I have to reply, and I have to answer something to some of these criticisms. So that required a lot of time. I didn't get to take that same amount of time I would have used to watch a couple of channels, but what channels am I going to be catching up on here? Hopefully maybe some on the weekend, and maybe some the beginning of the week. Farmer Always up in Canada. I can't wait to catch up on some of the videos. I've seen some notifications come through this week. Hi Tanya at Farmer Always. I've missed seeing your videos. Going to check it out this week. So y'all watching, if you love beautiful scenery, if you're interested in the ranch life, if you're interested in agriculture, if you're interested in cattle production, go check out what they're doing at their channel on Farmer Always. They're up in Canada. Also going to be catching up on Chimma's chicken coop. I only got to check in like once or twice maybe last week on Chimma's chicken coop. I want to check back in, see how his chicken coop is going with his flock of hens and roosters. I want to catch up on, he's got some eggs incubating. They should probably be about a week into the incubating process, so maybe only have a couple more weeks, and he's going to keep us updated on that. And I like to see the material and content that Chimma is sharing about his chickens. He's very knowledgeable and very friendly. Comes across through his videos as very friendly and personable. So anyway, so I want to check up on Chimma's chicken coop, y'all. If you enjoy chickens, check on Chimma's chicken coop, CHEMA' chicken coop, Germany channel. And that's a farm. I believe they're in Arkansas. Love the videos. They always make me smile. It's farm life. It's a young man. He does a great job. He has editing skills, makes cool videos. Y'all check out That's a Farm. THATSAFARM. All capitalized, no spaces. That's a Farm. I'll try to put links. And I'm going to show you a product I love that is a product I sell as a salesperson that's, like a sales consultant for a direct marketing company. So Norwex is the company. The product I'm going to show you, let me find it. I lost it. Hold on, y'all. So the product I'm going to show you is called Body Balm. And I didn't make it loose enough that I could open it. I don't think I can get it open. So anyway, Body Balm, but I'm going to just look right at it here, okay? So this is called Body Balm, and on the bottom you can see it's kind of like a stick that you push that up. So when you take the lid off, oh wait, I think I got it. That's the problem with having to hold a camera, right? So this has sunflower oil in it. Thanks for being patient with me. I think we're getting there. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Thank you for being patient with me. So on top, it's just like, you know what it's like? It's like chapstick for the body. Okay. And you can't really see it there, but it's just like chapstick for the body. And you actually could, see that? And you actually could take the whole stick and just, once you've pushed that up from the bottom, it's up there, and you can push it back down with your finger from the top. But you could actually just use the whole stick and put like on cracked heels, dry elbows, dry skin on your arms, your legs, wherever. If you have a bug bite, if you have just, you know, a small little scrape or something, you can put that on. It soothes it. You can put it in your hair, like, you know, when you get kind of static electricity or windblown hair, you can put just a little bit on the hair and kind of tame flyaway hair. So body balm, and it has, I want to say, just sunflower oil in it, and I don't know how much y'all can see. Sunflower seed oil is one of the ingredients. So no toxins in this, no carcinogenic things, no mutagenic things, and no toxins that interrupt like reproductive system hormones, you know, so no toxins. There's like, Norwex as a company has like 2,700 rejected ingredients, okay? So body balm from Norwex, and I will put a link in the description in the comments that has a link, more or less a shopping link, but it goes to my official Norwex webpage. So thanks for bearing with me. This one is long. That does actually contribute to our Norwex, or to our, no, if you buy something from me on Norwex, that contributes to my Norwex performance as a consultant. What I was trying to say was, we are having a little bit longer videos sometimes because that contributes to our YouTube metrics in a different way than the shorter videos. So thanks for bearing with me. I know if you stayed to the end, you're helping me out, and we appreciate it. So we'll put links for those channels that we like in the comments and description. I'll put a link from my Norwex webpage in there if you ever want to try out that body balm. It's a super duper product. We appreciate y'all. We will work this weekend to plan upload material for the coming week, and hope that you'll continue to join us. And I just want to say God bless y'all. And I also want to say that, you know, life is difficult, life is hard. A lot of difficult situations are because of misunderstanding between people of different backgrounds, and just always remember that all things work together for the good for those who love God. So just keep trying, keep moving forward, and we hope that you'll join us again here at Twin Oaks Farm Poultry on YouTube. Thanks so much, y'all. God bless you. Get outside and enjoy the sunshine.